Hey, welcome back. In this lesson, what we're going to take a look at is the first experience the dreamer has when he goes down and chooses Maya. The reason why this is really important, because if we can understand from the very start the powerful attraction the dreamer will then have to Maya's system, then we can appreciate why there's such allegiance to it and also why there will be such resistance in leaving her system. So what happens when the dreamer first comes down into Maya's system is that through her magical properties is that she infuses the dreamer now with this awesome sense of life, this complete euphoria. Remember, before the dreamer chose, he was in a state of uncertainty. And it was uncertainty because, remember, it was a state of just potentiality. And the dreamer had to make a decision of what he wanted to do with this new potential after he fell asleep. So obviously he had the choice to remember Shiva, which is the memory of his waking state, and wake back up to be Brahman, to be Satchidananda. However, as we discussed, because he thought there'd be no harm in actually going down and seeing what Maya's got to say, he went down and actually chose Maya. So what Maya then did is put the second veil over the dreamer so that he no longer could be aware of what he had just come down from. So now he's completely in Maya's system, but Maya has completely infused this dreamer with this sense of life. So the dreamer has now come to life as an individual. But more than that, he's come to life in a way that's very, very valuable. So what we're going to discuss later on is this principle of one or the other, that it can't be both ways, that there is either life up in Brahman or there's life down here in dreams. So by having this first hit of euphoria, then this sense of life has come to the dreamer, but it's come to him in a sense of individuality, not the life of perfect oneness, of perfect innocence, but rather it's the life of the individual. So if we take a look at the accounts of people who have taken Class A drugs for the first time, then they talk about the sense of chasing the dragon. So what they say is when they take the drugs for the first time, they get this amazing hit of euphoria, the sense of well-being, of everything just being right with themselves and in the world. Unfortunately, after a while that wears off, and then what they do is they start going to chase that dragon, of trying to get that first sense of euphoria that they had on their first hit. Unfortunately, they can never get back up to that same level, but they always are trying to get there, and they therefore start forming very maladaptive habits and cause a lot of problems in their life with their relationships and their living situations. So we could think about that moving forward in the same way, that now that the dreamer has first had that hit, he's going to always want to keep that feeling going. And as we will see, that Maya gives a way of helping the dreamer do that when he gets down into the dream, but it's never going to get back to this first set feeling of complete euphoria. So moving forward, what I've done is I've included a video below this video from America's Got Talent if you're watching this on the website, and that one is of Grace, and we could think about Grace as the dreamer. And basically what she obviously does, she walks onto the stage of America's Got Talent in front of the judges, and she sings I Don't Know My Name. So we could think about this as a very good symbol of what the dreamer did at the very start. As he walked down into Maya's stage, and he didn't know who his name is, so he just sung his little heart out, just like Grace does in the video. And then at the end of her song, the judges hit the golden buzzer. So now there's golden confetti streaming down on the dreamer, and the crowd's going wild, and that's a complete sense of euphoria. However, we've got to remember that Maya hit the golden buzzer for a very specific reason, and that reason is because for Maya to have her dreams, she needs the dreamer to actually buy into it, because her dreams only are made through belief, and they're only made through the belief of the dreamer. So by infusing the dreamer with this really powerful feeling of euphoria, then it's going to start, the dreamer's obviously going to be very allegiant to Maya's system. So we can see in that video of Grace that at the end, you know, she is in that state of complete euphoria, the crowd's going wild, and she even says this feels like a dream. But then she's obviously ushered off stage, and the host says, well, the dream is only just beginning. And that's what we're going to discuss, is then what happens to what unfolds as after this first hit of euphoria for the dreamer, who obviously starts going down further into Maya's dream. And so for now, feel free to keep the conversation going down below, and I'll see you in the next lesson.